What's up, Champions fam? It's Z.E.K.E back on a brand new WWE Champions video. All things that have a beginning also have an end. That is life. It's inevitable. And in a few days, we will be seeing the conclusion of April 2020 Spring in the Ring, which has hands down been a huge, utter disappointment throughout the community. Many people had high hopes at the beginning of this MLC, but those hopes were quickly dashed. And well, the game has kind of fallen into disarray due to certain actions that have taken place throughout this MLC. Now, granted, it is almost over, but we still have a few more days to endure, but we do have something to look forward to, and that is May 2020's MLC. Hopefully, things turn around for the better there, but I need to say this right here and now. When it comes to WWE champions, when it comes to their structure, their layout and execution of their month-long contests, their MLCs, or even their week-long contests, their WLCs, they are pretty predictable, quite repetitive, ultimately dull, and honestly sometimes very lackluster. However, there is always one shining light when it comes to every MLC per month. And that shining light is, well, outside of the prize wall, the MLC free-to-play champion that everyone is able to recruit from the kickoff top events at the very start of the MLC. Now, let's be realistic. A lot of people were hyped for April 2020's Spring in the Ring because we finally got modern era acrobat Bayley, the huggable one. We finally got Bayley in the game, and that was a champion that many people wanted to see for a mighty long time, and she was covering the modern era category, and it was cool. It was dope. And even after the perks and the bonuses for this MLC conclude for her, she is still going to be a top tier free-to-play unit and an amazing free-to-play waifu for many. So that was dope. However, here's where things get a little bit interesting, and this is where our topic of discussion comes into play. Although we have gotten many free-to-play champions for many MLCs, there are still some champions missing that cover certain classes and era categories. And that is what I'm bringing up here right now, because the discussion for today is, who do you think May 2020's MLC free-to-play champion is going to be? And to take things a step further, who would you like to see as the rest of 2020's MLC free-to-play champions? So from May 2020 until December 2020, who would you like to see as the MLC free-to-play champions for each month, covering class as well as category? Now, there's a reason why I have Doink here, because it plays into this discussion, and this is why. As you all know by now, we have 6 classes of champions. You have acrobats, powerhouses, showboats, strikers, technicians, and tricksters. But then you also have 7 era categories. You have Attitude Era, Legend, Modern Era, New Generation, PG, Reality, and Ruthless Aggression. Now, let's be realistic. When it comes to New Gen as a era category overall is hands down probably the smallest era category, point blank period. But it also is the least represented when it comes to MLC free-to-play champions as well. Now, there are also other era categories that are missing a MLC free-to-play champion. And outside of New Gen is only represented by one free-to-play champion, and I'll cover that shortly. But we'll get to the other era categories that are missing MLC free-to-play champions, okay? We are missing a PG era category MLC free-to-play champion. We are also missing a reality MLC free-to-play champion. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be looking at this and like questioning, well, we do have one. It's Becky Lynch. It's Naomi. Hear me out. Hear your boy out. Let Dr. Z.E.K.E break some things down for you, okay? When Naomi and Becky Lynch were both introduced as MLC free-to-play champions, they were originally and initially modern era champions. But later down the line, we got the introduction of these brand new era categories. A couple months between here and there, we started getting new era categories, and that changed everything up. Originally, Naomi and Becky Lynch here were both modern era. But then when the reality era category was introduced, they got swapped. So, technically, we have yet to have gotten an original and initially released reality era category free-to-play MLC champion. And finally, a ruthless aggression MLC free-to-play champion. So, 4 of the 7 categories have yet to be properly represented. Now, I will go back to our boy Doink to break something down. New Gen has had one representative as an MLC free-to-play champion. But it's been so long ago. Yes, he still counts, but let's be real here. How many people remember him? And that's none other than New Generation Showboat Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, even though when he was released, he had a blue card and everyone thought he was an acrobat, but then he ended up being a showboat. I digress, y'all. I digress. But look, here's the reality here, okay? This is a list of champions that were free-to-play MLC champions that everyone had a chance to get in the beginning, okay? Now, I might be missing some people, so forgive me if I am missing some people, but let me break this down to you. For acrobats, I've got down Jeff Hardy, Akira Tozawa, Naomi, as well as Bayley. For powerhouses, we've had Dean Ambrose, before he left WWE, that is, and we also just got Shelton Benjamin. For showboats, we had Shawn Michaels, we have Brutus Beefcake, Becky Lynch, who I just showed, as well as Wendy Richter and Ricochet. For strikers, we've had Six, Ric Flair, Carl Anderson, Aleister Black, Bret Hart, and Zombie Kevin Owens. Now, I'm also going to include Zombie Sasha here because they were free-to-play MLC champions, but they are zombies. They're not real-life champions, but they still represent an era in a category. So that's the reason why I have them on here. But real-life wrestlers, you understand where I'm coming from, okay? Now, here's the icing on the cake here. Up to this point in time, when it comes to technicians, MLC free-to-play technicians overall, the only one that we have gotten is Lita. Lita is the sole technician MLC free-to-play champion up to this point in time. Finally, for tricksters, we have had an opportunity at Arn Anderson, Velveteen Dream, Stephanie McMahon, Daniel Bryan, and the aforementioned Zombie Sasha. So listening to that, we have gotten plenty of strikers, plenty of tricksters. We got a boatload of acrobats. We got a solid amount of showboats that have represented. Powerhouses and technicians are the least represented classes at this point in time when it comes to MLC free-to-play champions. Strikers and tricksters seem to have it beat, but acrobats are also a solid amount as well. But that's something to think about. But then when you think about it, again, we don't have a MLC free-to-play PG champion, a free-to-play reality champion, since the proper lock-in for everybody, since a lot of champions got switched around when an era category came into play. We have yet to get an MLC for New Gen, PG, reality, or ruthless aggression. So, with that being said, who would you like to see be May 2020's MLC free-to-play champion? And for the remainder of 2020, who are your champion selections for era category as well as class? Who would you like to see be MLC free-to-play champions? Because there are so many champions that can cover all 4 of these categories. And Shawn, once again, was so long ago. And you're so easily able to pull him that many don't even remember that he was a free-to-play MLC champion at one point. The same thing, like when you also look at the list, okay, Attitude Era, Legends, and Modern Era, they are literally the ones that are topping this free-to-play section of MLCs. Literally, Attitude Era, like I said, Ric Flair, Six, Lita, okay? They all cover Attitude Era. Then Modern Era. Modern Era pretty much has everyone beat here because, but initially, that is, you had Jeff Hardy, you had Naomi, you got Bayley now, you got Tozawa, you got Carl Anderson, you got the NXT guys and Black, Ricochet, and Dream. You got Stephanie McMahon, you got Daniel Bryan, okay? Attitude Era again, you also have Bret Hart. Literally, like, legends. You got Brutus Beefcake, Double A Arn Anderson, who's pretty much a trophy champion. If you didn't get him, I'm sorry, you ain't gonna have him. But those two, as well as Wendy Richter, you know, there could be more diversity when it comes to the MLC free-to-play champions. And they could bring in some beast mode trainer and coaching abilities on top of that. Definitely something that needs to be brought to attention. Like, for instance, the submission reduction that Ric Flair co-owner Striker has for black submissions. That fill out the rest of the blanks. Bring in a champion who does the same for blue submissions, yellow submissions, green submissions, purple submissions, okay? Red submissions. Reduce those submissions. Especially when you got these different specialty gem submissions champions out there. Utilize them. Bring them in there. Don't just drop one and then 1 year later, here comes the next one. And then another year later, here comes the next one. Just roll them all out one after another. And that way we got the set. Like, there's no need to play around that. And there's also no need of making one of those, making the rest of them mega superstars. You introduce a cool coaching ability through a free-to-play unit. Introduce that coaching ability as a free-to-play unit, niche. The same way the zombies, all the zombies extended the initial first wave. They all extended submissions. Do the same now with the coaching ability that reduces submissions. And then bring in another cool niche. Okay? Bring in something else that's going to make something interesting. Like, that would be dope. Like, think about this. Imagine if you had a champion, like, this is broken, because I found out a while back, a few videos back, that there isn't a champion that does reduce the timer for countdown gems. Okay, I get that. That's pretty nerfed. That's pretty broken. But what if you had a champion that reduced your opponent's initial MP? You know what I mean? Like, you already got the perks that do that. Having that as a trainer or coaching ability would be pretty dope. It doesn't have to be something broken. Like, literally, they could just have it where it only reduces it by one. Like, 1 or 2. Like, right out of the gate. You get a little breather. But that would still be something that would benefit so many people. So y'all let me know down in the comments below. What are your thoughts on May 2020's MLC Free-to-Play Champion? Who would you like to choose for the remainder of 2020 for each month's MLC, except for October, because more than likely October is going to be a zombie MLC. So outside of October, though, you still got a couple of months to play around with, okay? And think about this. 4 categories. We got enough time to cover all this. And granted, yes, way WWE champions and Scopely do things, they already have everything prematurely set up and established with how they roll things out and they execute the launch of everything. So they already know how they're going to launch May. They already know what they're going to do for June, July, August, September, October, November, December. They already got it planned out. But it would be cool if they switched it up on us. It would be nice, at least, by the conclusion of 2020, that we did get a MLC free-to-play champion for New Gen to expand that so Heartbreak Kid isn't lonely, a PG free-to-play, a reality free-to-play, and a Ruthless Aggression free-to-play. There's so many champions from all those eras, they could easily cover it. It would expand different era categories. They could expand subcategories. They would expand the classes. It would be just boosting the numbers, bring in a little bit of more diversity, switch things up a little bit, and it shows everyone love. Because there's no point of introducing new categories if you're not going to expand them. I get it. Nostalgia is cool. Hence why we get legends. Hence why we get an Attitude Era champion. And because we're living in the modern era, it makes sense to have a modern era free-to-play champion. But you also have other categories that had some top tier memories and moments that could easily be brought into here. Okay, you could introduce, just like we got a modern era Shelton Benjamin. You could easily bring in a ruthless aggression Shelton Benjamin that goes with 3i Kurt Angle. That's something to think about. That's something to consider there, okay? You got reality, okay? You got reality here. You could easily bring in another variation of a female here. You could bring in Tamina, okay? She was around during this time. You could bring in another version of Naomi if she's going to be just a running free-to-play champion, okay? You could bring in another version of her. You could bring in Carmella. You know, there's different champions that you could do for each of these. PG era, even there. I mean, you could bring in other alternative looks for people. You could bring in an NXT Bray with the Hawaiian shirt instead. You know, just switch it up. Make him a powerhouse. Give him the Hawaiian shirt and everything. Have him come out with the lantern and sitting in his rocking chair. You could easily come up with different things here. You could come up with 1, 2, 3 Kid for New Gen. We already got 6. We already got X-Pac. There you go. Complete it. Make him another technically free-to-play Trinity, okay? 6 was the striker. X-Pac was a MLC reward free-to-play champion. Come out with 1, 2, 3 Kid. You got the whole clique there. Call it a day. But y'all let me know in the comments below your thoughts. Didn't mean to hold y'all for long. I know I've tried to make these short, sweet, and brief and right to the point. But, you know, I'm passionate about this game. And with a full month spending ban in effect, hashtag make WWE champions better, going on during May 2020, I really want to see how things are going to play out. Because I know WWE champions in Scopely are going to try to drop something or someone or some type of crazy offer to get you to spend your money. But I say, it doesn't take much to say no. So with that being said, y'all, bad times don't last, but champions do. I hope you all enjoyed this video. I hope you join me down in the comments below for a pretty beast mode discussion and conversation piece. I want to know how creative y'all get. Who do you think's going to be May 2020's MLC free-to-play champion? And for the remainder of the year, who do you select for each month to be the respective free-to-play champion? What class would they cover? And what era category would they cover? Because I'm truly baffled at the fact that really the only free-to-play technician we've ever gotten is Lita. But I wouldn't have it any other way, though, because she is the extreme waifu. But she is getting lonely there. Shawn Michaels needs some love there too when it comes to the new gen situation. But definitely new gen, PG, reality, and ruthless aggression all need MLC free-to-play champions. Attitude, modern, and legend are covered. Even if legends is a little minuscule, they still got more champions representing than new gen does, or the other 3. So y'all let me know. Let's talk about it. Y'all be blessed. Good feuding this weekend. And until next time, peace.